Hi everybody, it is a Friday Live and it's going to be a little bit of a wing it today. We're going to be using Endless Love and Gears and Textures, but did you see the Endless Love with the fragrant layers that I did for my bubble bath monochromatic Instagram hop today? So, if you haven't looked at that, go back and look at that today. And again, like I said, we're using the Endless Love and Um, it's going to be a bit of a wing it, meaning I have not completely designed the project, but we are going to be using a collage technique. And we have Endless Love, and this is the stamps, and then we have all these wonderful dies. I can show you. Let me open the package so you can get a little better idea of them. So those are the dies, and then we're going to be pairing it up or mashing it up with Gears and Textures. So we have the Gears and Textures stamps, and then we have the Gears and Textures dies. So these are absolutely wonderful, especially if you're going to be doing something for the person in your life that likes mechanical stuff, or maybe they just like steampunk. So that is great. We're going to be doing a mashup with those today. Let's go ahead and move these out of the way for a minute. And we're going to bring in a card base that is Cherry Cobbler. It's been a while since I've used Cherry Cobbler. Probably haven't used it since the holidays. So this is our standard card base, and it is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Oh, my ruler's got a lot of sticky stuff on it. I really need to clean that. And then, of course, it is scored at 4 1/4. I think it is. I may have to. Yeah, I gotta score that. Okay. So I have my paper trimmer here, and I'm going to give that a nice score right there at the 4 1/4 inch mark. Oh, it is. Okay. Right. Yep. 4 1/4 inches. Yes. Okay. So now we have a score that we can see. I guess it was already scored. We just couldn't really see it. And that is our card base. So we're going to go ahead and fold that in half and use our bone folder to give that a nice crisp crease. We also have a piece of basic beige because I am going to be making a masculine card. Shh, don't tell the man in my life. He might see this anyway, but he doesn't always see the stuff that gets posted on my page. So, keep it a secret. If he sees it, that's no big deal. I'm just happy he's watching my page. So, this is basic beige, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then we have some metallic pieces that I have die cut. So I die cut the heart in gold foil, and that is from the Endless Love. And then these are all from the Gears and Textures. And we have some silver and a little more gold. And then we have some of the earthen tone metallic. And so this one I didn't get quite in the middle, but it will be just fine that I didn't get that hole in the middle. It just gives it a little more of a rustic look. And of course this one went off the page, but that's fine because we're going to be cutting that off anyway. Okay, so we have all these pieces and we have this piece here. Let's go ahead and let's move these pieces out of the way for a minute. Try not to lose them. Whew, getting everything coming off my desk here. It's we've got a piercing mat, and we're going to bring that in. And then we have all these great stamps from the Gears and Textures. So we're just going to start stamping here in just a second. And we are going to use the Cherry Cobbler ink pad. Oh, it's going to probably go off the page. So I do need a piece of scratch paper underneath, because that's going to be going off the page, I'm sure. All right, open this. This is a firm foam pad, so we don't want to push into the pad. We just want to tap on the top of it to get the ink without pushing into it. And yes, the Cherry Cobbler will stain your ink, your stamps, but they will work just fine. And I'm not sure how much is going to show, but we're just going to do some of these on our background there. And then we're going to move to another stamp. Which one? Maybe we'll do this one. This one's kind of like a length of chain here. So let's just do some of that. And one more maybe. Like I said, I'm just creating a background. I'm not exactly sure how much is going to show when all is said and done. But, and then this one I put 3 stamps. So these little stamps here are separate. So I put 3 stamps here. Those are like the tops of screws. That's what those look like. Okay. And then some of these. Okay. I think, let's see, we have one more thing. These little chevron pieces here. All right, that is really covered. So hopefully it is exactly what we want, because like I said, we're just winging it today. So thank you so much, you guys who have joined me. I'm so happy to have you join me. And I'm so happy that you are like saying hello to each other, because you know, this is kind of a community here. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to work out really well. Okay. So let's go ahead, put those aside, and let's bring in our heart and other foil pieces here. Okay, got a little bit of ink on there, but that's foil, so I'm just going to rub that right off. And I did put adhesive sheet on the back of these. So take that off. I'm not sure how much is going to stay on the heart and how much is going to go off, but yeah, that's all going to go off. Okay, it's fine. We're going to put it right about there. I'm not going to push it down real hard because we might be moving it around. So we're just getting of these pieces. We will be doing some trimming. Look at, and we're just making a big old collage steampunk kind of heart here. Yeah. Okay. This, since it's already kind of cut off, I'm just going to put that right on the edge there because we're going to be doing some trimming. And we are just putting these pieces on here. Just kind of laying them on, not being real precise. That one under there. One up here, kind of. And where's the other one gonna go? What do we think? That looks pretty good. Okay, we're gonna commit to that. And we need some scissors to trim off the pieces that are hanging off here. So you could do this with other shapes too. It would not have to be a heart shape. And you could also do this heart, use flowers on it instead of the gears. Okay, so that's the flowers that I did with that same Endless Love large heart for my bubble bath monochromatic top this morning. So as you can see, it like creates a completely different look. And now we have this and this. So you can kind of see this is a, like I said, this is a wing it, and so you can kind of see my thought process here. Okay, we're going to put this aside for a second, and now we need to come up with something for some words. Oh. So I'm going to bring in some more basic white, or basic beige, sorry, basic beige. And let's see. Happy Valentine's Day. Or do we just want to say love on the outside? Or do we want to say hugs and kisses on the outside? Maybe. This doesn't look like a hugs and kisses card so much. It does look like a love card. Well, let's do love. So let's measure this. So this stamp is let's see, it's about 2¼ inches by 1 1/8. Okay, let's bring on our paper trimmer. Okay, so let's do 1 1/8. And then let's do 2¼ Yeah, there we go. That's a straighter edge, if you were wondering what I was doing. Then I have some fuzzy edges because I think it's time to replace the blade on my paper trimmer. So in the meantime, I am just going to do some sanding, and actually just had a brilliant idea, but I'll do it after I stamp. Or maybe it, well, seems like a brilliant idea right now, so we shall see if it actually is a brilliant idea. So let's bring in a block. And get this love stamp right here. I'm going to put it at kind of on the diagonal. I don't know about you, but I find that if I do that, it is easier. I'm going to make sure the photopolymers come with a coating on them. I'm just making sure that the coating is off before I stamp. And I am probably want to stamp first on another piece of paper because I've not stamped with this stamp yet. I haven't used this one yet. So we're just going to test it out here. Okay, it's looking pretty good. All right. Let's move this over here. You know what? I want that foam underneath me if I can find it. I just had it. Well, we're going to hope that it stamps good on the gloss mat because I can't find my little piercing mat right now. All right. Let's just stamp this right here. Kind of let it sit there a little bit so that the ink will absorb into the piece of paper, into my cardstock. Oh, that's beautiful. So we have that. We have those going. And I put that like this. Oh, I'm completely covering that one, that little one right there, but that's okay. Maybe I'll move it. I think I can. Yep, I can actually move that, I think. It's not stuck down real hard. I think I'm going to move that one. See, you know, you just get to see my wing it designing process here. I'm going to tuck this one under here. Nope, it doesn't want to go there. Hmm. Okay, guys. Maybe I just leave it off. When you can't figure out where to put it, it's time to stop and just leave it off. Unless I stick it right down here. There we go. There, figured it out. I don't know if you guys ever go through a process like this when you're doing this, but this is kind of how my brain works. All right, now I think this is dry, so I'm going to take my bone folder and take an older one, and I'm going to rough up the edges on this. This is the idea that just popped in my head as I was thinking about stamping this. So we are just going to rough up the edges, give it even more texture. We got a lot of texture going on. We got some visual texture with the collage. We got some more texture with the gears and the die cuts. And we're just going to add a little bit more texture with roughing up the edges here. So the edges are all roughed up. Now I just have to decide do I want to elevate this layer. You know me, I love my dimensionals. I think I will elevate that layer. And I'm going to bring in some black ones. Since this is a dark card base, and I don't think they will show through on the beige. So we're just going to give this a nice elevation here with lots of dimensionals. And then get some pieces from the edge for the middle. That should be nice and elevated. So, oh yeah, I could have put that extra gear on the inside panel, couldn't I, Nancy? I am going to have an inside panel. And I'm going to go with the basic beige again. How did I have this? I don't even remember. I think I had it like this. Okay, there we go. Let's get some more. Just going to use all these edge pieces up. I think that would be enough. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And now we're going to get our heart on here. hanging off the edge a little bit. And I need some more. Put that in the middle, and then grab some minis that are handy right here. Did you know that the black dimensionals come in half the pack is minis and half of the pack is the regular size? So you get 6 sheets. Oops. Well, 6 sheets of the black dimensionals. That's why they cost just a little bit more, because you're getting more sheets. Okay. There we have our outside of our card. Now we're going to work on the inside. So I need an inside panel. An inside panel is the same size as the panel here, here that I don't think I showed you. It's 4 by 5 1/4. This panel is 4 by 5 1/4. You need another panel of 4 by 5 1/4. So let's just go ahead and let's cut that. Try to get it straight. And 5 1/4. So now we need to do some more stamping. We're going to bring in this really ugly piece of scratch paper here that I have used a couple of other times. And we want some more stamps. So let's see what happens if we do this. All right. Let's see if we can do this all on the same stamp. I might need a big stamp for this. Maybe. I don't know. It is small. So I do have it all. I stamped it and then put the thin sheet there. And then I still have the thick sheet. So I need happy and day, and I want this one here. Be careful of the ones that have the that have it in the middle. Be careful you don't rip that. So let's get this on this stamp. And we want, we'll just go ahead and lay it out on here since there's no ink on it. I'm trying to see if I can do this all at the same time. And that will not fit on there, so let's get a bigger block. Alright, now let's stamp it and see what we think. Not bad. Not bad. We'll go with it. Stamp it a couple times, make sure it's all primed. We're just getting our stamp nice and primed with the ink before we commit to our inside. Hopefully I'm getting this straight. If I don't get it exactly straight, I know he will not care. Let the ink kind of absorb into the paper. Yay! Look at that. Now, oh yeah, I better bring this back out again. I'm going to do a heart. Still got it. Oh, well, I just did a little smudge. So we're going to put our heart on that side. And it's going to be going off, and we're going to add some gears and stuff. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, we're going to go with it. It's kind of different, but he will not care, and that's what we're going to do. So now we can attach this on the inside, and of course there's a nice little additional smudge. But you know what? That's because I have ink on my fingers. Ugh. And let's see. Can I add another one? No, it's gonna look funny. Maybe I'll do that. Oh, just getting ink and everything everywhere, but you know what? Inky fingers just means you're having fun. But we are going to try to cover that smudge up. Doesn't leave me a lot of room to sign my name, but I can still do it there. So, there we go. Got a whole bunch of collage going on the outside, a bunch of collage going on the inside. I probably could have changed up and did some other colors on my background, but like I said, this was a bit of a wing it, and I think he's gonna love it anyway because it's from me. So I see you guys are conversing in the comments. I love that. Ooh. There we go. So we've got a nice little Happy Valentine's Day card for the special guy in my life. You guys know his name. And those of you that don't, his name is Bob. And yes, he wants to tell people he can spell it backwards and forwards. So there we have it, two absolutely completely different looks. So please let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know how you think I did on my wing it. You know, is it, would you make a card with the gears and stuff? Or would you make a card with the hearts, which we didn't make today, but I just showed you an example of. But, you know, have you ever done collage? There's just all kinds of things and all kinds of stamping happiness that you can do with your stamps, and especially when you kind of mash them up together. So until next week, we'll see you later. Bye.